Welcome to incredible India, a land of vibrant colors, ancient stories, bustling streets, and serene landscapes. We'll journey across the subcontinent, uncovering the soul of India, from the snowy peaks of the Himalayas to the palm-fringed shores of the south. Let's begin this unforgettable adventure. India is a country in South Asia. It is the seventh largest country by area, the most populous country since 2023, and, since its independence in 1947, the world's most populous democracy. Bounded by the Indian Ocean on the south, the Arabian Sea on the southwest, and the Bay of Bengal on the southeast, it shares land borders with Pakistan to the west, China, Nepal, and Bhutan to the north, and Bangladesh and Myanmar to the east. In the Indian Ocean, India is near Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Its Andaman and Nicobar Islands share a maritime border with Thailand, Myanmar, and Indonesia. Modern humans arrived on the Indian subcontinent from Africa no later than 55,000 years ago. Their long occupation, predominantly in isolation as hunter-gatherers, has made the region highly diverse. Settled life emerged on the subcontinent in the western margins of the Indus River basin 9,000 years ago, evolving gradually into the Indus Valley civilization of the 3rd millennium BCE. By 1200 BCE, an archaic form of Sanskrit, an Indo-European language, had diffused into India from the northwest. Its hymns recorded the early dawnings of Hinduism in India. India's pre-existing Dravidian languages were supplanted in the northern regions. By 400 BCE, caste had emerged within Hinduism, and Buddhism and Jainism had arisen, proclaiming social orders unlinked to heredity. Early political consolidations gave rise to the loose-knit Maurya and Gupta empires. Widespread creativity suffused this era, but the status of women declined, and untouchability became an organized belief. In South India, the Middle Kingdoms exported Dravidian language scripts and religious cultures to the kingdoms of Southeast Asia. In the early medieval era, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Zoroastrianism became established on India's southern and western coasts. Muslim armies from Central Asia intermittently overran India's northern plains in the second millennium. The resulting Delhi Sultanate drew northern India into the cosmopolitan networks of medieval Islam. In South India, the Vijayanagara Empire created a long-lasting composite Hindu culture. In the Punjab, Sikhism emerged, rejecting institutionalized religion. The Mughal Empire ushered in 2 centuries of economic expansion and relative peace, leaving a rich architectural legacy. Gradually expanding rule of the British East India Company turned India into a colonial economy but consolidated its sovereignty. British Crown rule began in 1858. The rights promised to Indians were granted slowly, but technological changes were introduced, and modern ideas of education and the public life took root. A nationalist movement emerged in India, the first in the non-European British Empire and an influence on other nationalist movements. Noted for non-violent resistance after 1920, it became the primary factor in ending British rule. In 1947, the British Indian Empire was partitioned into 2 independent dominions, a Hindu-majority Dominion of India and a Muslim-majority Dominion of Pakistan. A large-scale loss of life and an unprecedented migration accompanied the partition. India has been a federal republic since 1950, governed through a democratic parliamentary system. It is a pluralistic, multilingual and multi-ethnic society. India's population grew from 361 million in 1951 to over 1.4 billion in 2023. During this time, its nominal per capita income increased from $64 annually to $2,601, and its literacy rate from 16.6% to 74%. A comparatively destitute country in 1951, India has become a fast-growing major economy and hub for information technology services. It has an expanding middle class. Indian movies and music increasingly influence global culture. India has reduced its poverty rate, though at the cost of increasing economic inequality. As of 2025, extreme poverty in India almost disappeared, not because of economic growth but mainly due to government welfare programs. It is a nuclear weapons state that ranks high in military expenditure. It has disputes over Kashmir with its neighbors, Pakistan and China, unresolved since the mid-20th century. Among the socio-economic challenges India faces are gender inequality, child malnutrition, and rising levels of air pollution. India's land is megadiverse with 4 biodiversity hotspots. India's wildlife, which has traditionally been viewed with tolerance in its culture, is supported in protected habitats. The Himalayas, or Himalaya, is a mountain range in Asia, separating the plains of the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan Plateau. The range has some of the Earth's highest peaks, including the highest, Mount Everest. More than 100 peaks exceeding elevations of 7,200 meters, 23,600 feet, above sea level lie in the Himalayas. The Himalayas abut on or cross territories of 6 countries: Nepal, China, Pakistan, Bhutan, India, and Afghanistan. The sovereignty of the range in the Kashmir region is disputed among India, Pakistan, and China. The Himalayan range is bordered on the northwest by the Karakoram and Hindu Kush ranges, on the north by the Tibetan Plateau, and on the south by the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Some of the world's major rivers, the Indus, the Ganges, and the Tsongpa Brahmaputra, rise in the vicinity of the Himalayas, and their combined drainage basin is home to some 600 million people. 53 million people live in the Himalayas. The Himalayas have profoundly shaped the cultures of South Asia and Tibet. Many Himalayan peaks are sacred in Hinduism and Buddhism. The summits of several, Kangchenjunga, from the Indian side, Gangkhar-Puensum, Mashapucher, Nanda Devi, and Kailash in the Tibetan Trans-Himalaya, are off-limits to climbers. The Himalayas were uplifted after the collision of the Indian tectonic plate with the Eurasian plate, specifically, by the folding, or nap formation of the uppermost Indian crust, even as a lower layer continued to push on into Tibet and add thickness to its plateau. The still lower crust, along with the mantle, however, subducted under Eurasia. The Himalayan mountain range runs west-northwest to east-southeast in an arc 2,400 kilometers, 1,500 miles long. 6. Its western anchor, Nanga Parbat, lies just south of the northernmost bend of the Indus River. Its eastern anchor, Namcha Barwa, lies immediately west of the Great Bend of the Yarlung Tsangpo River. The Indus-Yarlung Suture Zone, along which the headwaters of these 2 rivers flow, separates the Himalayas from the Tibetan Plateau. The rivers also separate the Himalayas from the Karakorams, the Hindu Kush, and the Trans-Himalaya. The range varies in width from 350 kilometers, 220 miles, in the west to 150 kilometers, 93 miles, in the east. Delhi is a city and a union territory of India containing New Delhi, the capital of India. Straddling the Yamuna River, but spread chiefly to the west, or beyond its right bank, Delhi shares borders with the state of Uttar Pradesh in the east and with the state of Haryana in the remaining directions. Delhi became a union territory on November 1, 1956 and the NCT in 1995. The NCT covers an area of 1,484 square kilometers, 573 square miles. According to the 2011 census, Delhi's city proper population was over 11 million, while the NCT's population was about 16.8 million. The topography of the medieval Fort Purana Kila on the banks of the river Yamuna matches the literary description of the citadel Indraprastha in the Sanskrit epic Mahabharata. However, excavations in the area have revealed no signs of an ancient built environment. From the early 13th century until the mid-19th century, Delhi was the capital of 2 major empires, the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire, which covered large parts of South Asia. All 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the city, the Qutub Minar, Humayun's tomb, and the Red Fort, belong to this period. Delhi was the early center of Sufism and Qawwali music. The names of Nizamuddin Auliya and Amir Khusro are prominently associated with it. The Karibali dialect of Delhi was part of a linguistic development that gave rise to the literature of Urdu and later modern Standard Hindi. Major Urdu poets from Delhi include Mir Taqi Mir and Mirza Ghalib. Delhi was a notable center of the Indian Rebellion of 1857. In 1911, New Delhi, a southern region within Delhi, became the capital of the British Indian Empire. During the partition of India in 1947, Delhi was transformed from a Mughal city to a Punjabi one, losing two-thirds of its Muslim residents, in part due to the pressure brought to bear by arriving Hindu and Sikh refugees from western Punjab. After independence in 1947, New Delhi continued as the capital of the Dominion of India, and after 1950 of the Republic of India. Delhi's urban agglomeration, which includes the satellite cities Ghaziabad, Faridabad, Gurgaon, Noida, Greater Noida and Yeida city located in an area known as the National Capital Region, NCR, has an estimated population of over 28 million, making it the largest metropolitan area in India and the second largest in the world, after Tokyo. Delhi ranks 5th among the Indian states and union territories in Human Development Index, and has the second highest GDP per capita in India, after Goa. Although a union territory, the political administration of the NCT of Delhi today more closely resembles that of a state of India, with its own legislature, high court and an executive council of ministers headed by a chief minister. New Delhi is jointly administered by the federal government of India and the local government of Delhi, and serves as the capital of the nation as well as the NCT of Delhi. Rajasthan is a state in northwestern India. It is the largest Indian state by area and the 7th largest by population. It covers 342,239 square kilometers, 132,139 square miles, or 10.4% of India's total geographical area. It is on India's northwestern side, where it comprises most of the wide and inhospitable Thar Desert, also known as the Great Indian Desert, and shares a border with the Pakistani provinces of Punjab to the northwest and Sindh to the west, along the Sutlej-Indus River Valley. It is bordered by 5 other Indian states, Punjab to the north, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh to the northeast, Madhya Pradesh to the southeast, and Gujarat to the southwest. Its geographical location is 23 degrees 3 minutes to 30 degrees 12 minutes north latitude and 69 degrees 30 minutes to 78 degrees 17 minutes east longitude, with the Tropic of Cancer passing through its southernmost tip. Its major features include the ruins of the Indus Valley civilization at Kalibangan and Balathal, the Dilwara temples, a Jain pilgrimage site at Rajasthan's only hill station, Mount Abu, in the ancient Aravalli mountain range and eastern Rajasthan, the Keoladeo National Park of Bhartapur, a World Heritage Site, 16, known for its bird life. Rajasthan is also home to 5 national tiger reserves, the Ranthambore National Park in Sawai Madhopur, Sariska Tiger Reserve in Alwar, the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve in Kota, Ramgarh Vishtari Tiger Reserve and Karali Dolpur Tiger Reserve. The state of Rajasthan was formed on March 30, 1949 when the states of the Rajputana Agency of the erstwhile British Empire in India were merged into the new Indian Union. Its capital and largest city is Jaipur. Other important cities are Jodhpur, Kota, Bikaner, Ajmer, Bhilwara, Sawai Madhopur, Bhartapur and Udaipur. The economy of Rajasthan is the 7th largest state economy in India with 10 Indian rupees. 20 lakh crore, 120 billion US dollars, in gross domestic product and a per capita GDP of 118,000 Indian rupees, 1,400 US dollars. Rajasthan ranks 22nd among Indian states in Human Development Index. Rajasthan means the land of kings, and is a portmanteau of Sanskrit Raja, king, and Sanskrit sthana, land, or Persian sth, on, with the same meaning. 12. The oldest reference to Rajasthan is found in a stone inscription dated back to 625 CE. The first printed mention of the name Rajasthan appears in the 1829 publication Annals and Antiquities of Rajasthan or the Central and Western Rajput states of India, while the earliest known record of Rajputana as a name for the region is in George Thomas's 1800 memoir Military Memories. John Key, in his book India, A History, stated that Rajputana was coined by the British in 1829. John Briggs, translating Farishta's History of Early Islamic India, used the phrase Rajput, princes, rather than Indian princes. Varanasi is a city on the Ganges River in northern India that has a central place in the traditions of pilgrimage, death, and mourning in the Hindu world. The city has a syncretic tradition of Islamic artisanship that underpins its religious tourism. Located in the middle Ganges Valley in the southeastern part of the state of Uttar Pradesh, Varanasi lies on the left bank of the river. It is 692 kilometers, 430 miles, to the southeast of India's capital New Delhi and 320 kilometers, 200 miles, to the southeast of the state capital, Lucknow. It lies 121 kilometers, 75 miles, downstream of Prayagraj, where the confluence with the Yamuna River is another major Hindu pilgrimage site. Varanasi is one of the world's oldest continually inhabited cities. Kashi, its ancient name, was associated with a kingdom of the same name of 2,500 years ago. The lion capital of Ashoka at nearby Sarnath has been interpreted to be a commemoration of the Buddha's first sermon there in the 5th century BCE. In the 8th century, Adi Shankara established the worship of Shiva as an official sect of Varanasi. Tulsidas wrote his Awadhi language epic, the Ramcharitmanas, a Bhakti movement reworking of the Sanskrit Ramayana, in Varanasi. Several other major figures of the Bhakti movement were born in Varanasi, including Kabir and Ravidas. In the 16th century, Rajput nobles in the service of the Mughal Emperor Akbar sponsored work on Hindu temples in the city in an empire-wide architectural style. In 1740, Benares Estate, a zamindari estate, was established in the vicinity of the city in the Mughal Empire's semi-autonomous province of Awadh. Under the Treaty of Faizabad, the East India Company acquired Benares city in 1775, 29-30, the city became a part of the Benares division of British India ceded and conquered provinces in 1805, the northwestern provinces in 1836, United Provinces in 1902, and of the Republic of India's state of Uttar Pradesh in 1950. Silk weaving, carpets, crafts and tourism employ a significant number of the local population, as do the Benares Locomotive Works and Bharat Heavy Electricals. The city is known worldwide for its many ghats, steps leading down the steep river bank to the water, where pilgrims perform rituals. Of particular note are the Dashashwamedh Ghat, the Panchganga Ghat, the Manikarnika Ghat, and the Harishchandra Ghat, the last two being where Hindus cremate their dead. The Hindu genealogy registers at Varanasi are kept here. Among the notable temples in Varanasi are the Kashi Vishwanath Temple of Shiva, the Sankat Mokan Hanuman Temple, and the Durga Temple. The city has long been an educational and musical center. Many prominent Indian philosophers, poets, writers, and musicians live or have lived in the city, and it was the place where the Benares Gharana form of Hindustani classical music was developed. Kerala is a state on the Malabar coast of India. It was formed on November 1, 1956 under the States Reorganization Act, which unified the country's Malayalam-speaking regions into a single state. Covering 38,863 square kilometers, 15,005 square miles, it is bordered by Karnataka to the north and northeast, Tamil Nadu to the east and south, and the Lakshadweep Sea to the west. With 33 million inhabitants according to the 2011 census, Kerala is the 13th most populous state in India. It is divided into 14 districts, with Tiruvananthapuram as the capital. Malayalam is the most widely spoken language and, along with English, serves as an official language of the state. Kerala has been a prominent exporter of spices since 3000 BCE. The Chera dynasty, the first major kingdom based in the region, rose to prominence through maritime commerce but often faced invasions from the neighboring Chola and Pandya dynasties. In the 15th century, the spice trade attracted Portuguese traders to Kerala, paving the way for European colonization in India. After Indian independence in 1947, Travancore and Cochin acceded to the newly formed republic and were merged in 1949 to form the state of Travancore-Cochin. In 1956, the modern state of Kerala was formed by merging the Malabar district, Travancore-Cochin, excluding 4 southern taluks, and the Kasaragod taluk of South Kannada. Kerala has the lowest positive population growth rate in India, 3.44%, the highest Human Development Index, at 0.784 in 2018, the highest literacy rate, 96.2% in 2018, the highest life expectancy, at 77.3 years, and the highest sex ratio, with 1,084 women per 1,000 men. It is the least impoverished and the second most urbanized state in the country. The state has witnessed significant emigration, particularly to the Arab states of the Persian Gulf during the Gulf boom of the 1970s and early 1980s, and its economy relies heavily on remittances from a large Malayali expatriate population. Hinduism is practiced by more than half of the population, followed by Islam and Christianity. The culture is a synthesis of Aryan and Dravidian traditions, shaped over millennia by influences from across India and abroad. The production of black pepper and natural rubber contributes significantly to the national output. In the agricultural sector, coconut, tea, coffee, cashew, and spices are important crops. The state's coastline extends for 595 kilometers, 370 miles, and 1.1 million people depend on the fishing industry, which accounts for around 3% of the state's income. The economy is largely service-oriented, while the primary sector contributes a comparatively smaller share. Kerala has the highest media exposure in India, with newspapers published in 9 languages, primarily Malayalam and English. The state is one of India's leading tourist destinations, known for its backwaters, beaches, Ayurvedic tourism, and tropical greenery. Mumbai, also known as Bombay, its official name until 1995, is the capital city of the Indian state of Maharashtra. Mumbai is the financial capital and the most populous city proper of India, with an estimated population of 12.5 million, 1.25 crore. Mumbai is the center of the Mumbai metropolitan region, which is among the most populous metropolitan areas in the world, with a population of over 23 million, 2.3 crore. Mumbai lies on the Konkan coast on the west coast of India and has a deep natural harbor. In 2008, Mumbai was named an Alpha World City. Mumbai has the highest number of billionaires out of any city in Asia. The 7 islands that constitute Mumbai were earlier home to communities of Marathi language-speaking Koli people. For centuries, the 7 islands of Bombay were under the control of successive indigenous rulers before being ceded to the Portuguese Empire, and subsequently to the East India Company in 1661, as part of the dowry of Catherine of Braganza in her marriage to Charles II of England. Beginning in 1782, Mumbai was reshaped by the Hornby-Vellard project, which undertook reclamation of the area between the 7 islands from the Arabian Sea. Along with the construction of major roads and railways, the reclamation project, completed in 1845, transformed Mumbai into a major seaport on the Arabian Sea. Mumbai in the 19th century was characterized by economic and educational development. During the early 20th century, it became a strong base for the Indian independence movement. Upon India's independence in 1947, the city was incorporated into Bombay state. In 1960, following the Samyukta Maharashtra movement, a new state of Maharashtra was created with Mumbai as the capital. Mumbai is the financial, commercial, and entertainment capital of India. Mumbai is often compared to New York City, and is home to the Bombay Stock Exchange, situated on Dalal Street. It is also one of the world's top 10 centers of commerce in terms of global financial flow, generating 6.16% of India's GDP, and accounting for 25% of the nation's industrial output, 70% of maritime trade in India, Mumbai Port Trust, Dharamdar Port and JNPT, and 70% of capital transactions to India's economy. The city houses important financial institutions and the corporate headquarters of numerous Indian companies and multinational corporations. The city is also home to some of India's premier scientific and nuclear institutes and the Hindi and Marathi film industries. Mumbai's business opportunities attract migrants from all over India. After India's independence in 1947, the territory of the Bombay Presidency retained by India was restructured into Bombay State. The area of Bombay State increased, after several erstwhile princely states that joined the Indian Union were integrated into the state. Subsequently, the city became the capital of Bombay State. In April 1950, municipal limits of Mumbai were expanded by merging the Mumbai Suburban District and Mumbai City to form the Greater Mumbai Municipal Corporation. The Samyukta Maharashtra movement to create a separate Maharashtra state including Mumbai was at its height in the 1950s. In the Lok Sabha discussions in 1955, the Congress Party demanded that the city be constituted as an autonomous city-state. 131. The state's reorganization committee recommended a bilingual state for Maharashtra, Gujarat with Mumbai as its capital in its 1955 report. Bombay Citizens Committee, an advocacy group of leading Gujarati industrialists, lobbied for Mumbai's independent status. Following protests during the movement in which 105 people died in clashes with the police, Bombay State was reorganized on linguistic lines on May 1, 1960. Gujarati-speaking areas of Bombay State were partitioned into the state of Gujarat. Maharashtra State with Mumbai as its capital was formed with the merger of Marathi-speaking areas of Bombay State, 8 districts from central provinces and Berar, 5 districts from Hyderabad State, and numerous princely states enclosed between them. As a memorial to the martyrs of the Samyukta Maharashtra movement, Flora Fountain was renamed as Hutatma Chowk, Martyrs Square, and a memorial was erected. The following decades saw massive expansion of the city and its suburbs. In the late 1960s, Nariman Point and Cuff Parade were reclaimed and developed. The Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, BMRDA, was established on January 26, 1975 by the Government of Maharashtra as an apex body for planning and coordination of development activities in the Mumbai metropolitan region. In August 1979, a sister township of New Mumbai was founded by the City and Industrial Development Corporation, CIDCO, across the Thane and Raigad districts to help the dispersal and control of Mumbai's population. The textile industry in Mumbai largely disappeared after the widespread 1982 Great Bombay Textile Strike, in which nearly 250,000 workers in more than 50 textile mills went on strike. 139. Mumbai's defunct cotton mills have since become the focus of intense redevelopment. 140. 141. Industrial development began in Mumbai when its economy started focusing on the petrochemical, electronic, and automotive sectors. In 1954 Hindustan Petroleum commissioned Mumbai Refinery at Trombai and BPCL Refinery. The Jawaharlal Nehru Port, which handles 55 to 60% of India's containerized cargo, was commissioned on May 26, 1989 across the creek at Nhava Shiva with a view to decongest Mumbai harbour and to serve as a hub port for the city. Mumbai is the commercial capital of India and has evolved into a global financial hub. For several decades it has been the home of India's main financial services companies and a focus for both infrastructure development and private investment. From being an ancient fishing community and a colonial center of trade, Mumbai has become South Asia's largest city and home of the world's most prolific film industry. In the early 16th century, northern India, then under mainly Muslim rulers, fell again to the superior mobility and firepower of a new generation of Central Asian warriors. The resulting Mughal Empire did not stamp out the local societies it came to rule. Instead, it balanced and pacified them through new administrative practices and diverse and inclusive ruling elites, leading to more systematic, centralized, and uniform rule. Eschewing tribal bonds and Islamic identity, especially under Akbar, the Mughals united their far-flung realms through loyalty, expressed through a Persianized culture, to an emperor who had near-divine status. The Mughal state's economic policies, deriving most revenues from agriculture and mandating that taxes be paid in the well-regulated silver currency, caused peasants and artisans to enter larger markets. The relative peace maintained by the empire during much of the 17th century was a factor in India's economic expansion, resulting in greater patronage of painting, literary forms, textiles, and architecture. Newly coherent social groups in northern and western India, such as the Marathas, the Rajputs, and the Sikhs, gained military and governing ambitions during Mughal rule, which, through collaboration or adversity, gave them both recognition and military experience. Expanding commerce during Mughal rule gave rise to new Indian commercial and political elites along the coasts of southern and eastern India. As the empire disintegrated, many among these elites were able to seek and control their own affairs. By the early 18th century, with the lines between commercial and political dominance being increasingly blurred, a number of European trading companies, including the English East India Company, had established coastal outposts. The East India Company's control of the seas, greater resources, and more advanced military training and technology led it to increasingly assert its military strength and caused it to become attractive to a portion of the Indian elite. These factors were crucial in allowing the company to gain control over the Bengal region by 1765 and sideline the other European companies. Its further access to the riches of Bengal and the subsequent increased strength and size of its army enabled it to annex or subdue most of India by the 1820s. India was then no longer exporting manufactured goods as it long had, but was instead supplying the British Empire with raw materials. Many historians consider this to be the onset of India's colonial period. The rush of technology and the commercialization of agriculture in the second half of the 19th century was marked by economic setbacks, and many small farmers became dependent on the whims of faraway markets. There was an increase in the number of large-scale famines, and, despite the risks of infrastructure development borne by Indian taxpayers, little industrial employment was generated for Indians. There were also salutary effects. Commercial cropping, especially in the newly canaled Punjab, led to increased food production for internal consumption. The railway network provided critical famine relief, notably reduced the cost of moving goods, and helped nascent Indian-owned industry. India is not a place you visit. It's a place that stays with you. It overwhelms, it enchants, it transforms. With over 1 billion hearts, languages, and dreams, it's not just one country. It's a whole universe. Thanks for joining me on this journey across India. Until next time, keep exploring.